When you read the Bible, you're studying historic records of incidents that happened over thousands of years. When you study the Bible, you discover God is involved in every aspect of the lives of his people throughout the ages. The title of today's video is God is Bigger Than the Giants in the Land. This sentence refers to the incident that occurred when the spies came back out of Canaan and reported to the children of Israel that it is possible for them to go in and inhabit the land that is flowing with milk and honey. And this is only after 40 days of exiting Egypt that this took place. 10 spies went into the land, and 8 reported that there were giants in the land. Yes, the land was flowing with milk and honey for sure. The walls of the cities were thick and high, almost impregnable. 8 spies basically said, forget about it, don't go in there. 2 spies, Caleb and Joshua, said, the Lord is with us, we could go in there and take the land to ourselves. After all, look at how God took us out of Egypt after 300 years. We crossed the Red Sea on dry ground. Pharaoh and his army are destroyed. They no longer exist. We have been fed with manna, and we have gotten water en route for the past 40 days. This is all as a result of the miraculous God that we serve. Let us go in and take the land. So as the people listened to both Caleb and Joshua, and listened also to the 8 other spies who said, we are like grasshoppers in the sight of these giants. We should not go in there. They believed what was the limiting factor in their lives. They believed the bad news. They believed this news that they could not accomplish what it was that God could accomplish through them. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, a godlike figure to the Egyptian people. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, the greatest and wealthiest empire since the world began. Caesar, the emperor of Rome, during Christ's day, he was considered a god in the Roman Empire. Now look at who emerges in the annals of history as the greatest of them all. The humility of this itinerant preacher, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, comes on the scene, not in a glorious manner with armies, but rather in humility, serving people around him, healing the sick, helping the poor, providing solace to those that are grief-stricken and hopelessly depressed. After all of his ministry, he is betrayed by a close friend, a disciple. He is then strong-armed to a whipping post. Though declared innocent, he is beaten and flogged beyond human recognition. He is given a heavy cross that nearly crushes him, and he is forced to take that cross on top of a hill on the outskirts of the city, where he will be stripped naked, nailed to that same cross, and be dealt with as a criminal, a thief, and mocked with the sign above his head written by Pilate himself in 3 languages, Latin, Hebrew, and Greek. The Hebrew reads, Yeshua HaNazarite, Malek HaYudim. That translated is Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. The first letter in each of those words written on that post, Yahweh, the name of God given to Moses. Impossible for Jesus to be labeled anything else but God himself. The Jewish priests realized what had been written and demanded that be taken down. They were absolutely going berserk. Pilate said, what I have done, it remains. Because Pilate was inspired by God to write it, because it was the truth about his son. On the day that Jesus was crucified, there were earthquakes that took place, and there was darkness for a period of 3 hours. With his dying breath, Jesus shouted, it is finished, and gave up the ghost. When Jesus declared it is finished, he meant Satan, sin, and death are no longer going to dominate the world as we know it, and will be eradicated once and for all eternally. Jesus was the perfect sacrifice. There was no longer any need for the sacrificial system of goats and lambs and bulls to be slaughtered in the temple for the forgiveness of sins. Jesus died the most agonizing death that could have ever been devised by man, being led by the hand of Satan. The hopelessness turned into miraculous joy when 3 days later Jesus rose from the tomb and conquered death once and for all of us. Political leaders throughout all of history have enslaved people, have robbed them, have killed them, those that go against their wishes, and they have done incomprehensible things to children. This is exactly what is going on right now. Do not believe that this is going to continue on. God is in charge. He will put this present fraudulent system completely out of existence. The bureaucrats project that they are the giants in the land. Remember what happened to those giants. Had the people believed the 40-day report of the two, Caleb and Joshua, saying, God is with us, who could be against us? The children of Israel could have saved 40 years of trekking through the desert. While you're alive and in sound mind, remember that Jesus Christ is the only way to salvation, the only way to the presence of God eternally. For the assurance of salvation, we're going to repeat Romans 10, verse 9. If you say with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, in verse 10 it says, you will be saved. Remember, every Wednesday a new video comes out on this channel declaring the love of God through his Son Jesus Christ to you personally and to the rest of the world. God bless you. Share this with everyone.